In my studies on Saturn, you're going to learn a lot in this video. Just embrace what you hear. Try not to question it because God knows you haven't done any questioning your whole life. You're a sheep and you don't know anything about this. So let me make this clear. You know about Saturn. Your sheeple mind knows about Saturn at least. So let's take a look at Saturn. It's the sixth planet from the Sun. All right, there's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Saturn has 6 letters. Alright, the hexagon on the North Pole of Saturn, if you don't know, Jesus Christ created the hexagon on the North Pole of Saturn with the spirals. He had every aspect of that in his plan as 666. Now tell me that doesn't sound familiar. Alright, now the hex is a storm. You know, they want you to think it's a storm, but it's really not. And Saturn's in space, and we know that much. But it's more like a hypnostorm. Let's come over here to this analysis of the storm. At first, during my beginning phases of my research in the first years, I thought it might have been a prelude to Noah's Ark. Maybe Jesus is visiting Saturn, and that's the great flood for Saturn and the inhabitants of Saturn we don't know about yet because it's a gas planet. On the tiny core, it's a much smaller planet than Earth in the center of Saturn. That might be their Noah's Ark. Maybe Earth has failed, where Saturn is the new starting point. Now, I don't want to hear your mumbo jumbo about science or anything, because listen, they're lying to you. Okay, they're a bunch of liars, and you can't trust them. I don't know why you fucking trust them, so don't. All right, it's a hypnostorm, and it's out there. It's out there in Saturn, and they know you're going to look at it. They know you have NASA. NASA knows. God damn it. NASA is the one perpetrating all this with Jesus Christ. They're there. That's why the stars are called the heavens. Why don't you fucking see this? That's why you're watching this video. Be ashamed that you don't know this. Designed and engineered to confuse the human race on Earth. Not just I think. Let's change that. Where the fuck is my pen? Cross that bullshit out. I don't think it. I fucking know it. And you know it. Someone just made a noise in the fucking closet behind me. I'm scared now. Fuck it. We'll do it live. And really, we'll go into the science of it, but I have already. So let me try not to get too ahead of you. Your feeble mind. The swirls on Saturn are a portal to hell. And let me tell you what the purpose of hell is. It's not what you think. It's not to punish the sinners. It's to re-hex you. Because we were all, at one time, born into a hex. You got to get out of the hex. And no. We're already out of the hex. Jesus Christ is ashamed of us as gay and transgender non-hexagonal creatures. And you got to get back into the hex because you're rounded now. You're not straight like the hex. You're rounded, and it's terrible. Alright, look at this. Jesus summoned the hex to deliriate the masses. And we're going to be drawn into the black hole of Saturn that rests under... Let's see, where do I have the diagram? Under... The black hole rests beneath the spiral inside of the hexagon. It's created by Jesus Christ. The halo is misconstrued. It was a hexagon. They want you to think it was a halo because we're obsessed with the new gay circles. Alright, Saturn is between Pluto and Earth, and we're between the Sun and Saturn. And we're next in line after Jupiter and Mars to get sucked into the black hole of Saturn. You'll see it. Some symbols there. I can't. That's too advanced for you right now. We have satellites. Black hole energy swirl. You're going to get sucked into it. It's going to happen if you don't follow my directions. Now, a black hole, like I said, is a portal to hell. You need to get that. You need to understand. And I'm going to teach you how to get out of this portal to hell because we're on our way. Trust me. We're going. Jesus is sentencing all of Earth to hell through a spiral in the center of the divine hex. That's going to be you, pal. The hex is going to consume you. Alright, some scrap. Alright, the Brachionaxtrialis intestinal xenotime circle states that, let's see, when was it? You know about the Big Bang, but that's all an NASA bullshit theory that they put out to you to ignore, so that you would ignore the hex and think it was science. But let me tell you, it's not science. It's fakery, and it's not real. What happened, everyone knows about the Garden of Eden. What happened is it the tree of life or whatever, where Adam took and Eve took the apple from the tree. It wasn't a tree, it was a mushroom cloud, and that was the Big Bang, and it blew up. There's dark void everywhere, but Jesus Christ in the center exploded into the hex universe because he wanted to create perfect life. It was a great mushroom cloud that dissipated into hexagonal beings that we now known as spherical gay planets. But in the beginning, they were perfect hexagon shapes, planets, and we need to get back to this. There's some simple steps here. Saturn has a let's go to get back to the Brachionaxtrialis intestinal xenotime circle. So in the beginning, all celestial bodies were hexagonal. The hex verse is created from mushroom cloud, mistaken for the tree thing in the Garden of Eden. The OG hex life stage was hex status nominal. All the hex was intact until wear and tear and gayness turned us into circles because we allowed gay sex and transgenders. So after that stage, the Lord returned with the hex halo. Alright, it wasn't a circular halo, it was hex. And if we ever see him again, you'll know. Alright, he returns, examines the digress and descent of the hex verse into a spherical orgy of gayness. Let's look at the xenotime circle in this angle. Alright, there we have the black hole. Definitive proof that the black hole is going to soak up all the circular gay planets and leave the hexagonal ones. That don't need that can be any circular planets that can be rehexed will be. Any that won't, we brought into hell. You'll see. Hex cursed is Jesus Christ put the hex curse on all rehexable objects. Non-rehexable objects were eaten or were going to be eaten by black holes and broken down. Maybe they were already. Maybe this is a cycle that happens over and over again. I think it is. This is a circle. That's why it's a circle, not a timeline. Alright, they're eaten by black holes and broken down into rehexable objects. The devour stage, the black holes will be sent out. No, like we see in Saturn, they've already been sent out, excuse me. So we're in the rehex and devouring stage. Not yet, not the devouring stage yet, but you'll see it. We will be. And I'll teach you how to escape it, or you'll die. You'll be in hell forever and you'll be broken down into a hex. Alright, you gotta beat it too. You gotta beat it to the chase. You gotta become the hex first. Alright, the hex verse is restored, but for how long? That is in the future. That is not yet. Alright, so let's get back to right side up, if there is a right side up in this universe. Hex first, sorry. Alright, how to save yourself from dying a terrible death by sub-hex black hole. You gotta rehex your body and mind. Meditate just like this. Alright, some theories want you to spill your own blood, but you don't have to. It's a lot easier than that. You just have to meditate with your arms out, with your legs in a hexagon, just like that. Just like that. And then, after long enough, if all of us do this, it'll work. But just one or two people, it's not going to work. Jesus Christ will not notice. He will not recognize or acknowledge our effort to rehex the earth ourselves. We just show him we can do it so that we don't die and we don't get vanquished into hell. You gotta hexatate until you are a hexagon in body and mind. That's how hard you have to meditate into being a hex. I call it hexatating. And you can't be gay. If you're gay, you have to, in body and mind. You've got to be straight in your mind. You can't be gay. We have to work together to save Earth and all of humanity. We all have to do this. How many people? Like all 7 billion people. Trust me. Like 2 trillion or however many people. So this is what it's going to look like. When you're about 50% hexed, you'll notice it. You'll look in the mirror. Your family might notice it, but they better damn well be doing this too, or it won't work. Just you is not going to work. You will be this is what it'll look like when you're 50% hexed. Your hair will be a hexagon. Your eyes and your mouth will be hexagons. Your face, your hands, almost every aspect. Just you yourself are not an entire hexagon. Around 98%, I'll be very proud of you if you reach this. Your features still remain, but you yourself are forming a hexagon. Your pets, if they are doing this well, unless you have killed them off because they're not able to understand you, which would thwart our efforts, they too would become hexagonal. And in 100%, we would be a complete hexed society. There's you and all your friends, and Martha from down the street. She's a hexed as well, if she's doing this right. And if you're righteous enough to tell her about this, and the earth too will become hexed, and the moon and the sun. All right. And once that happens, we will be safe. We won't be recognized as a non-rehexable object. We will have rehexed, and Saturn will implode on itself, not knowing what else to eat, and we will have the sun all to ourselves, and all the gay planets that didn't rehex by themselves will be devoured in our place. This is just an extra tidbit. This is what you'll see. That is what would happen inside of Saturn if we were to not rehex. I got some modern art here, 666. Give me the homosex is what you're saying. If you ignore this video, you don't want to rehex. You better rehex or you will die. The gay earth will be made perfect again one way or another. You can either do it yourself, or you can let the black hole figure that out, and your particles will be scattered and they'll be rearranged in a way that you will not become whole again. So this is a hexagon. Let me make it clear. All right, this is the fucking closet's making noises again. This is a hexagon. This was made in Jesus' name. All right, it is a hexagon. Us at this moment, we're circular, and we are gay. Know this symbol? That's the gay symbol. Alright, that's you. You. And this is what we must become for the Lord. Or you will be thrown, those are rings, into Saturn's black hole. Alright, do you get that? Because it's going to happen if you don't listen to this video. There's some art. Stars. Because we're in space. Alright. And the Earth, very small compared to this beautiful Saturn planet, will be thrown into it to come out as a hex planet. But it's very painful. Pain plus regret, as you are. This is you. Being turned into little hexagons that are so small you can't see them. Will be vaporized and then will reform as hexagons. Will be in a state of prelude mayonnaise in the spiral. Will come out of this spiral again as hex people. You want that? Or do you want to become a hex person within your lifetime? It might take a few years, but it'll be better than losing your life altogether. So rehex now. Start the process. Remember, this is what it looks like. You've got to create a hexagon with your legs and you will become hexed. So subscribe and hexagons unite.